Yes. G'day, how yous all going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru. Welcome to me live painting today. I'm painting a bit of a simple scene, but it's going to be quite effective. I found a picture on Pixabay, but I'm going to change it so differently just to show you. So there's going to be, there'll be a few colours here, but it's mainly grey. It's going to look like a black and white painting, but it's going to have colour in there, okay? All right, so I've got a bit of a horizon line here. It's way down low, okay? And normally your horizon line is what, let's just say the painting is something that you took a photo of. The horizon line is your eye level, okay? So work it out, because some people get mixed up with that. So I want to get some, I'll bring you over here, but I'll get some of this on there to paint. I'll do the top half first and I'll do the bottom. And I do want a bit of retarder, not too much because it's a nice wet damp day here and it's cool, so I don't need too much of that. If it was really hard and dry and hot, I would add more. So depending on your climates, how much of that retarder, and that what that does for those people who don't know what it is, that slows down the drying time of your acrylic paint. So I'm going to bring you over here. I've got my horizon line down here. I've got a bit of land mass, and there's going to be a really bright sun setting down on this part of the painting. So down to the palette, I've got me putter on a brush. Message me on Facebook if you ever want to grab the blending brushes I use and this putter on a brush. So I want to mix that. I use this brush to mix it at the same time, and you watch how quick it gets this paint onto your canvas. It don't muck around, it puts it on there. That's why I call it a putter on a brush. If you live in Australia, you can get these from Bunnings. Now you're a beginner, something like this, just push it on, get it all over there. Don't be too fussy about painting it yet. Just push all that paint over the area you want to paint. All right, which is about there. Get it all on there, crisscross it, push it around, whatever. Now what I do, I go to the tip of this brush and then I start ironing out all those creases. Look at that. Beautiful. And we've got a surface ready to blend, whether you're going to do a beautiful blue sky, a sunset coloured sky, or this grey overcast sky. You've got a beautiful surface to do some wicked blending. Now I'm going to just I'm just going to wipe that brush, okay? Get all that build up off it down there, just like that. And we'll come back up to the palette. Palette, yeah, that's correct, the palette, which is there. And I want to get some grey. Now, I don't want just plain grey. If you're a first time beginner, you use just plain grey. But as you advance in your journey, you can put warm and cool tones in colours. Now this grey, I'm going to have a warm tone of alinzarin crimson and a cool tone of, well, I'm going to use cobalt blue. I haven't used it for a while. A little bit down there, you can see that. Now that's the colour I want, but I want the tinsiest bit of that within it at the top maybe. I want me putter on a brush, and I'm going to grab this and just put the, now red's very strong. Watch what this does. There we go. There's not much there, but it's there. Okay. Not much there, but it's there. Now I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to get this grey in the sky, paint it on, crisscross it on there, get it all into that footprint. That's the footprint there, the area you're painting. I better put a bit more on because I never put enough on my palette, and sometimes I put too much on my palette. So I'm getting more of that. Okay. Iron it out with the tip of the brush, just like that. Now I want to get the warm at the bottom and the cool at the top, okay? So we'll get a little bit of this, see, just like that. My horizon line is here. There we go. Push it up so you don't get a straight line in your thimity bib there. There we go. That's very subtle, but it's there. Now I'm going to do the same with the cobalt blue. Get a bit of warmth into the top of the sky. Not warmth, cool. Cool colour. Just up there. I want it bugger all. Now I'll bring it down, crisscross it into the sky there. A little bit more. There we go. Kiwi copper, I'm happy with that. So we've got a grey sky, but it's got tinges of permalinzarin down the bottom and the cobalt blue at the top. Warm and cool colours. Now we're not finished the sky yet. That craft paint that I put on there, all this stuff with the retarder, that is keeping all this paint on here still wet and wonderful because I'm blending. Now I want to grab a pouncer. Those people who don't know where to get a pouncer from, you can grab them from craft shops, $2 shops, things like that. That's these things. And if you don't have them, you can just cut out a bit of sponge. Now I want to grab some white. So I'll grab 2 whites. I will grab this one here, which is titanium white out of the tube. I want a bit of yellow, so I'm going to use over here. I'm going to use some so I want that white to have the slightest yellow in it. Okay, bit there. All right. Now, I'm just looking, do I want to put any clouds in there? I might just put one for the art's sake, okay? So I'm going to grab this colour, okay? Now, before I start, I've got all that paint there. I'm going to grab my bottle and just mystify that and keep it wet and livable. It's still alive. Now, I'm picking up some of this titanium white. And my subject's going to be over here, but I probably might put something down low, long, giving body. There we go. Scooting up into the sky like so. There we go. Bang. That was so easy, eh? You can do it grabbing a blending brush. Look at your cloud, make contact, work out what's happening. Boom. I love that smoothingness coming out. Look what's on the brush just from a little touch. A lot of sauce for little spaghetti. Now we can start. You're on there, you've made contact. You can't go wobbly now. You're controlling everything. These are just subtle clouds. I'll get a bit more lusting out there just like that. It gives the lineal perspective in the sky. I love doing that. Whether it makes sense or not, I don't know, but it makes up good subject matter within the painting itself. And we'll get something out here. Now you can go crazy, but I don't really like to overcloud my skies. Sometimes we can get caught in that. Let's grab a little bit of, while we're there, I'm just quickly wiping that brush, picking up some of that grey that I can find. And let's see if a bit of grey is going to work just within it. Not too much. If it doesn't, you can leave just it all white. And we're just putting a bit of grey in there because this grey with the red is not going to clash with that grey. That's fine. That is pretty good. Now I'm going to grab another brush, a cleaner one, just to add the simple yumminess to those clouds, and they're done. That's how I do a cloud. Stamp it on. So we might want a bit of crispy yumminess there. The yumminess is the bright bits. You know, you got icing on the cake. A cake is not bad, but when you put icing on it, it makes it more yummy. And that's the way I picture this yumminess in my clouds. I'm just adding icing here and there, if you know what I mean. Boom-bitty boom boom. That'll do. Now, I want to just leave that brightness there, but soften the edges down into the actual cloud. Some little bits you can just leave without even touching with the blending brush. Okay. See here, just kind of get rid of those patterny lumps, lines and dots, whatever. And that sky has stayed wet enough to make those luscious clouds happen. Now back to the pouncer. So back down here, we need that white. And this paint that I'm doing, we're going to need again for the bottom half. So what I will do before we get there is I'll pick some more of this craft paint. It doesn't matter if it's got white in it. I mean grey in it, because we're going to add grey anyway. We'll get this bottom half done now. Why I didn't do it before is because it would have dried on me. So we'll get that there. And now I want to add the grey watery colours into that bottom half. So I better grab some more grey down here. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. Who said that? Rob Flamson. Thanks for that, mate. Yeah, get them all to hit the thumbs up. And we'll get some of this with a bit of blue in it maybe, a bit of bluey grey for the water. See how that's just changed the value of it? We'll get our water done here. It's a different colour than the sky where the horizon's meeting the sky, but it's very faint. It's mystified out there. It's very misty out there, okay? It's not a sharp, deliberate, distinct line that you can see the two different colours with. I'm going to pick up a little bit of blue within that, just so I can get some, there we go, light blue colours there. Beautiful. Now my sky's still wet, my water's wet. I can add the glare that I'm after, okay? So I'm going to grab my pouncer. I'm going to wet it with this soft craft paint and then pick up the good quality paint. Now I'm going to get my finger and I just want the littlest bit of yellow within that white. Very, see, very bright white with the tints of yellow in it. There we go. Now I'm hoping this can be the hero of the painting. Right, where are we? So I want it on this corner here. It's going to be, my block of land's going to be here, so I want it just setting behind there. So I'm going to go there and then glare that out. Just keep going like there's nothing in the way. Glare it out, glare it out, glare it out. Put that down, grab your blending brush and just soften the edge of that into the sky. The sky's still wet. You need your sky still wet. Can you see there? Yeah. And we've got a beautiful glare. This is going to stand out behind the dark trees. We're going to grab some more white and that yellow. And now I just want here as well. Boom. I'll just use the blending brush for that. That way we got the glare there. I do feel I want this a bit more, where are we? A bit more brighter here. There we go. Now this can be dry. You can let it dry on its own. Go and put the kettle on, have a scone, cup of tea, whatever you want to do. Let it dry. The rest can be done dry. You know what? It doesn't need it, but I love doing it. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna grab some craft paint, which is just there. I've laid it flat like a sheet. All these brushes here in the way everywhere. Get that over there. I want a bit of water next to it. Watch what I do here. A bit of water. Grab your flat toothed brush, keep it flat, and then start incorporating the paint into there, okay? There we go. So it's even across the tips there. Even Stevens. And I'm thinking, do I want some shimmer? I just want a bit here. Just coming out of there and across the front of the water here. Bit more on your toothbrush. There we go, that's good enough. Very subtle, but it's there. That'll do it. All right. I can dry that. And we'll give them a severe flogging.
Ah, wasn't frozen, just my little freeze frame there. Always got to chuck a freeze frame in my live paintings there when I go live. It's just something I do. I don't know why, but now what I'm doing is I'm actually finding paints I can use for the foreground, and hopefully I haven't messed this part of my easel up. I've had some people message me saying, where should I put the paint on the easel? It depends on your habits and how you paint. If anything, I'm right-handed. I load the easel up and slowly work this way. Okay, as you can see, it's not neat, but that's what I do. Now I'm looking at there, I want some green, brown, black. Green is nice. So I'll go for me forest green. No, that's me Tyrrell green. Good old forest green, black and burnt umber. Now I'm going to draw that a little bit more. And now this is dry. I'll show you how we can get a nice wet looking reflection in the water as well. That'll do. Now I want me brushes, so I'll grab me appropriate brushes, and the brushes that I'm going to use for this are filberts. Filbert, where are they? Oh. So we'll map in this bit of banking land mass there. Now I'm going to grab the flat brush. I've got a little bit of water here. I'm just going to dampen my brush a bit so it's not dry. And I want to pull out some burnt umber. And let's map in what we're going to do first. Don't just paint and hope for the best. You know when you start painting something and you're neatening up the edges and it's getting bigger than what you want? So that doesn't happen, watch what we do here. There's our horizon line, right there, right? Now I want to come out about, there's the horizon line there as well, right? I want to come out, let's say, about this far, okay? I want the top, so I'm going to kind of map it in. I want that glare to be a bit of a hero, so I want my ground sort of, there we go. And the water's out here, but this isn't sitting on top of the horizon line, this is back a bit. It's like a high bank. There we go. That's pretty much what I want. So now I will just map that in. The top can be whatever, just like that. Let that go down there like that. And then the bottom can come. Now keep this level on the water. It can step down in different, like step down there and go along, but so long as they're level. If you get them a bit crooked, well, it's going to look crooked. So we'll get this just brushed in here. So instead of that, we just pace ourselves along like that. There we go. And the good thing about acrylics is you can dry every layer. Okay, that is dry. And get a bit of, I've got raw sienna here, so I'll use that. I'll use a bit of raw sienna just to get some light and dark values in our dirt. That's the dirt up there. So I'm going to use the same brush. Now I'm going to grab the black. I'll just wipe that brush first, so I'll just get all that burnt umber off it. There we go. And now we'll get some black. And I want to roughly where I'm going to have grass up there, so roughly where my grass is going to be, I want bits of black to give that depth. And this is just going to drag through this burnt umber here, just like so. Bits of dark everywhere where the green's going to be. It's going to be nice, bit of lawn up there. And the guy that lives up there, he just lives to the left, but he's got a ride-on lawnmower, and every Sunday he gets out there and cuts it, makes it look nice and neat. So people that stand back here and look at it go, wow, he's got nice lawn. There we go, we've got dark in there. Now, what have we forgotten? We've forgotten to put the shadow down for there. So let me just quickly rinse that brush. Okay, which is there. I'm picking up some more of the burnt umber. And we can just put a line like this and just pull down. Look at that. Put a bit more there with the side of the edge of the brush and pull down. Get a bit more and pull down. Because where this meets the water, that's where we've got to put the black, and I forgot to put this in there. So we'll get this on there now. There we go. Now you can pull it left and right as well if you want, but sometimes I don't worry about that. There we go. Pulling that down. So we've got the shadow, not the shadow, you dag, the reflection in the water there. Now I'll just wash that brush. And give it a good bit of dry. Now where you want your water to hit that land, that's where we put the black. So we pretty much pick up the black, and our horizon line's there, so it's going to come about here. So we're going to come along, so the black's going to be above and below the water line that's hitting this landmass, okay? Pull that down into the water there. And that top half can just stay like that. So along here, keeping it level. Keeping it level is important. Pull it down into that colour there. There we go. Not bad. And scrumble that up there. Now that'll come alive when I add the water hitting it, okay? Well, I hope so. Now I'll put a bit of light into that because it's a bit, that's why I grabbed that raw sienna. We'll just put some of those colours in there. So we'll pick up some raw sienna on that same flat brush. Very gingerly, I don't know, let's wipe it on there and kind of get some raw sienna. So it's sort of like clay. You know what, I didn't dry that black, it's going to mud up. Okay, so let's go again. There we go. See, it's sitting on there. You can notice it now. Bits in there. Just put it where you feel. You can practice subjects like this. This is subject. And then when you're doing a painting, you can have all these subjects painted on some cardboard. And then let's just say you're doing a scenery painting and it involves this subject. You go for all your cardboard practice boards. You've got trees practice on and bits of land like this, all your subject matter, and then you look at that and go, oh yeah, that's what I'll do, that's the colours I'll do, so on and so on. Now I'm just picking up the littlest bit of white within that. See, I'll put too much on there. Just the littlest bit, see? Just so we can see some of that. There we go. Scattering through all there. There we go. And bits of it in here as well. All right, now we'll get the grass and everything on there. So back down here, I'm going to grab that grey. Is that still wet there? Yeah, that's okay. Grey. Where's me filbert? Got me filbert there. Now, I want me grey. I'll actually do it over here. Can you see that yet? because I want this a little bit darker than the background, a little bit of black. We're going to darken it a bit more. There we go, dampen that a bit with that water. How's that looking? Yes, that's fine. Not too dark, because I forgot something, but we'll get there. Behind here, I want some distant trees, okay? So we're going to come along, probably get some air in between them. See, I've left dots of sky in between them. Come a bit higher, all up and down, whatever. But these are going to radiate out past this land here, but they're just a bit more distant back. From this coloured landmass we've put in there. All the way down here. There's the water line. Probably about there. Now where our water line is, if we can sort of get that jimmied down just a little bit. That's it. Now I'm going to turn the brush upside down just so I can get that kissing against the land there, just minutely. There we go. Just want to see how long I've been going for. 35 minutes. I should get this done in an hour. So that's further back than that landmass. It'll look like that later on as well, hopefully. Now we're going to put the first layer of our grass in there, and then we'll put the trees in and everything else from that. So that brush I'm going to use again because it's working good for me. And I'm going to grab the forest green. We'll use it over here. And that yellow. We're going to use that accordingly as well. So, got the forest green for the grass, but I'm going to add some of this because you're not going to see it on that grey too well. Just a little bit till it's the desire I want. There we go, that'll do it. Let's hope we can get you close enough in here. And I want to just grassulate all this area here. Just using this brush. If you have a scenery brush or something that can work for you, by all means use it. But that black that I put on there now, I want to dribble this just down to the black. And if any of the light colours of the brown's going to show through, it'll just be like bits of dirt out there. I think I destroyed too much of the black when I put that lighter raw sienna dark in there. I can detail that later. But this is pretty much the ground on there. I'll get a bit of the reflections in the water there as well. Just some of the value, the colours, whatever. There we go. Don't overdo it. Good. Now we're going to grab that yellow. Okay, so where'd that brush go? I'll just quickly wash him. Okay, so we've got the yellow. We want to make it more yellow, so we'll add a bit more to that there. Don't go too bright, because if you go too bright, you can make it look like a cartoon. And if you're not going for that look, well, that'll be the reason why it went that way, too bright. Now, I'll try and get near the shadow of me. Now, you just want to... This is the actual colour of the grass. That first green we put on there was just adding the depth, okay? Dribbling over that black there. From a distance it'll look like grass. Now I'm just teaching you this way because this is all I know, but if you have a better way to do grass on top of a rock, you do it that way. There we go. How's that looking? It's coming along okay, I feel, for what I'm trying to achieve here. Just see this black here, just dribbling it over that black, leaving that black there. And we can also put the slightest of some of this tinge down there if we feel. Don't overdo it though, just do a little bit. That'll do it, I feel. Let me get that shadow off there. There we go. You know, the more detail your brushes are, you could probably have some stringing right down as well, you know, or who knows, it's just up to the imagination. All right, here we go. All right, now I want a good circle brush. We all know what a circle brush is, don't we? It's a liner. Want a liner? So let me fish out my liners here and see what I can use. I tell you what, that's something I've got to get is some bloody good liners, eh? Because we want, now we've got that paints on the easel here. Is that the easel? No, that's easel, that's palette, on the palette here. Easel's what the canvas is sitting on. I'm going to squirt them so they stay alive. Now I want about 1, 2, 3. They've got 4 trees. I'm going to do 3. So what I'll do is I'll use a knife. Can I get this? Yeah. So I'm going to use a knife, and they're pretty much black. So I'll grab some of this black. I'll grab some of this black and some of the brown mixed with it. Okay, I'm just mixing the black and brown. Now what I'm doing, I'm just mixing it quite simple onto there, like that, okay? Wipe the bulk of it off your knife with a rag. Look at this, wipe it. Get off that bottle, you. Now, cut through it and grab a line of paint on there, and let's hope we can get a couple of trees in here. So I want one pretty much here. Bang. Bang. Load the brush up again. I want another one a bit taller, so we'll come about here. Bang. Bang. And we'll get another one probably out here. Come down into that grass area a bit. Don't keep the bottoms of them all in the one spot. See how I brought that one down? It's making it look more this way to the person viewing this image. And this one's going to go pretty well a bit higher. There we go. Now, I've done the basis of that with the knife. I'll put that knife away. I'll grab me script liner. You do these whatever's easy for you, okay? Because we're going to, I'm just going to neaten them up. Now I've got to do it because it's a live video. So this one's going to be right on the edge there. See, I can use all that paint to keep it. There we go. Wetting the brush, loading it up a bit more. Because see how jiggity jaggedy that is? I just want to unjigglyfy it. Boom, turn your brush so it's pulling all the paint off. Come a little bit higher. And what's this other one? He's a bit jiggly jaggly as well, isn't he? So where are we? So I'll get this one. This one can be a bit fatter because it's closer. See, but these aren't too fat either, if you notice. They're just the thickness of my brush. Okay. Now, we can add branches on them, but let's do that later. We've got our filbert. filbert. Now I want green, but I want some black green over here. Forest green with some black in it, okay? But more green than black. Get some water. Now before I do this, I've got to quickly dry that again. All right, what do we got? 108 people. Let's hit more than 48 likes if we can. That helps me out when you hit the likes. All right, so I'm going to pick up this blacky green colour. I've inked it up a bit. Now, they need foliage, and there's a main tree just hiding this bit here that needs foliage as well. So what I want to do is put that in first, but I want to leave a window. So about there of the foliage coming there. I want to leave a window. Okay, so he's pretty much going to be foliage. Some of the light can come through there, but this has got to be dark green. It's going to go about there. Boom. I feel I need a bit more dark into that green. It's not dark enough. So I'm just teasing a bit more black within it. There we go. Coming down there. Is that camera on there? Yes. And we're coming here. Now see where I ended this grey bit? I want to join it with what I'm doing now. We're gonna create the lovely togetherness there. There we go. This is just one big shrub in the foreground. And it can dribble over that land there. But we've got that nice cracking glare there. Okay, now it's important. Grab this and just start pulling down. It's important to keep, I want to keep the white glare here within my reflection. So I'm just pulling this down like so. It can be distorted and come lower than the actual, you know, that's that big, but this can be stretched longer because it's distorted, it's a reflection. I feel. There we go. Now we're going to do the same to these trees we just put in there, those big long trunks. So we're getting that black green. Now these are just like me old mate Len Hen does. These are just good old simple umbrella shapes. So I'll start with this middle one here. The top of him is going to be there. Boom, 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 boom. See, it's that shape. Okay. This one here can have his main top on it. Boom, 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 boom. See? Practice these. Everything's a practicing procedure. This one can have one there and a bigger one here, cascading out like that. Boom. See what we're doing? Now I am looking at the reference for a little bit of reference. Some of it's hanging over this branch, the trunk there, and it's kind of getting a bit looser as it comes down to the ground in foliage. Okay, same with this. We've got something there. We've got branches and foliage coming all off this one. Now see this grey, it's interesting to get some of this just going pick-a-billing over all that there. Boom. See how I've done it? Not too much. We're going to add the little trunks, the little branches that support all the ones that are sticking out in mid-air. So don't fret too much about that. There we go. And what we might do for some flavour is we can probably have some just kind of coming off here. It's suggesting that in the actual picture. So just something there and coming down to about this branch here. Now we got to get the reflection of that in the water. So what I'm going to do is just go Get the brush on its edge, keep them straight, something like that. There's the other one, about there. Load the brush up again. Where's this one, about there? All the way down off the painting, and we've got bits of foliage here and there, just filling up the gaps. And when we add the highlighted pieces to this, it'll bring it home. So I'll just darken that up a little bit more. Once we put the film of water over this, you will see the difference. I'm going to have to sprinkle those dots back on there because I've lost them. I'll do that later. Okay, now we're going to grab a liner brush and we're going to grab the darkest paint, which is our black over here. Grab a little liner. Now ink it up enough where it's just still got its thickness. Don't ink it too much where it goes see-through. And then we want to just join from here, branches coming up into all of this. And when we highlight it, it's going to sink them back and give everything pretty much, oh, not too fat, a 3D effect. Coming up there, up there. There we go. Come off the trunk and into there. Oh, I can hear the rain. Come right up over some of it if you want, because it's all going to be sunk back with the highlights. Well, don't go too fat, that went a bit fat. I'm just trying to get enough little scratchy bits in there. Oh, we better come over to this one as well. So this ore, I've got a nice fat one right there, bang. Let's get that brush nice and sharp. And we've got a lot of little ones coming all the way through the actual painting. I'm hoping that's looking, we've got a bit of tape there, it can come off the tape. Get some through there, you might see them through the highlight, who knows. Okay. How's that looking? Oh, I'll just put something there sticking out. All right, that's that done. Now I'm grabbing the same brush that I used for the foliage. I'll give that a quick dry. Now we better grab, that's got black in it, so don't want to do that. I'm grabbing some more forest green and that cadmium yellow, and I want to make a yellow green now, something a lot brighter than what's on those greens up there, okay? Get that the consistency I want. Let's see how that goes. This is going to divide things up. Just sit, it's in front of things like that. Sit your trunks down. Or your branches, whatever you call them yet. Something can come all the way from there, over the middle there. I want to get some of this flavour in the shadows here. Well, not the shadows, the reflection, sorry. You can see that, yeah. Now we'll come to these tall buggers up here. Give them some very skinny, fine little lines, not big, thick blobs. It's important to leave a lot of that dark there. See? And this, we'll put that in front of that trunk there. Anyone can do this with the practice, absolutely anybody. Absolutely anybody can do this with the practice. I was so frustrated in my early days of painting, and I do know that we all get frustrated, but that's part of it. Just realise you've got to practice more, and then after all that hard work of practice, you can start putting some good paintings together. You know, we always want to just start doing a full-on painting straight away without practicing, but that's just part of us, the way our minds work. Okay, that's looking okay, and I'll do those flavours, some of them down here as well. They're just a bit brighter flavours in front and behind all those trunks. Not too much of this, because if anything, those reflections have got to be darker. There we go. Now, I want to grab my favourite glaze. Glaze is a white additive which they call a medium. Okay, so there it is there. It looks like it's pretty similar to that white glue that you had at school, PVA glue, but it's not. It just looks similar to that. Now, I like a flat brush, and like I said, where I ran out of those shimmer on the water, because I painted over it, I'll add that back. So I'll just get the brush loaded up again for that. Bear with me a moment. I'll just try and get that shimmer back. Just on the water part, there we go. That's going to sink them down. There we go. And that can radiate out here at the bottom. Done. Now, I love to use a flat brush. I've got to find one first. This one will do. A nice chiselled flat brush. Now I'll grab some craft white, because craft white is thinner consistency of the titanium white. And we'll load up the brush, get it softened with this. So you can see out here, we'll get the horizon line, which is there, reasonably straight, boom. That can just have bits of film. To me, this is just a little bit more pleasant to look at than big, thick, bright knife marks. That's just my opinion. Now, for against the island here, I like to use the corner and try and control it. I do use the word try, because I do try at everything. We'll get a nice, in the middle of that black line, you want the line hitting the water, the land there, and it's filming across the water. Coming across here, boom. Now with this glaze, do not press heavy, because it can start ripping your paint up. Don't paint the buggery into it, because you'll find it'll start ripping your paint up. So I'm just looking here, getting some lines out here. There we go. It's just a pleasant looking white, I feel. I hope the camera's picking that up. Yeah, it is. Now see here, I'm going to use this brush on its edge just to kill some of those big ugly blobs, just like that. See? Something out there. Because really the lighter colour you put on your water is just the light hitting the different high and low surfaces of your water, really. I'd love to study water, but we all can't be good at everything. Just accept what you can do and enjoy what you can do. It's great. All right, does that look like water? I would like to, I'm just looking in the monitor there. I would like to get it a little bit more crisping against this landy edge there. That's better. All right, now that's pretty much it. You could, where are we? Where's my little, where are we? I'm just looking for my little round. There it is. I'm just grabbing the grey, the dark grey down here on the little, I'll just show you. This is probably, you don't have to put this in there if you don't want to, but I'm gonna. All right, we've been just over an hour now, so this will finish it up on a little dark grey. This is just dark grey out there. Between you and this, it's a little man in a boat, but between you and it, there's atmosphere, okay? So you're not going to see detail enough, and it's just a little element out there. See that? Boom. Now, I better, where are we? I'll sign it with a bit of grey down here, and we'll whack a frame on it. See how this looks in a frame, eh? Bit of grey. Come on. Going to work over that? Not really. Get this colour. Now check out the links in the description below. All my paintings are for sale. Message me on Facebook. Links are down below for my Facebook. Become a member of my art group. Share your paintings there. People want to know how I can see their paintings. Become a member of my art group. Answer the questions and say you saw me on YouTube. And yeah, if you ever want to buy a painting or support my content, there's PayPal there. Everything's there. All right, let's whack a frame on this and see how she looks. Frames make a big difference to a painting, as you all know. There we go. Not too shabby. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but we've got just a simple landmass here. Where's this frame? We'll go over that way so you can see it. Simple landmass here with our water and our spooky, misty, simple sky. I'm looking at it in the monitor, and that don't look too bad at all. And I know you can do that. All right, I hope you learnt something from this exercise. I enjoyed doing it, and I love the support I get from everybody there watching me and supporting my content here. And if you like what I'm doing on my channel, you tell your friends. But if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody, all right? Goodbye, good luck, and good on you.